Brent, talk to us about the. What are your thoughts about today? Do you have any?
Well, games like Monday were very competitive. One team was clearly standing out, pulling away when things got tight. It's interesting as the games got more competitive. It seems the looking for the Meg vision tends to go down significantly.
I think so.
It tends to be more early in the game where people are a little more loose. Then like an NBA game, it tightens up in that third and fourth quarter.
Yeah, this brings up a good question. Is there an ideal time to look for a Meg?
I'd almost say, when people aren't expecting it, maybe right out of the gate. The first 3 or 4 points.
I'll share something here. I used to have a technique where, I just let the Meg come to me and I would do it later. I would go for it later in the day. But then I think I started seeing Craig, and Craig's 2 for 2 with the Meg father. And so what I started doing was going for a little bit early, but I'm noticing it's not, it's tough. You're not getting the looks that you want.
Yeah, I can also make the case maybe what Craig's philosophy is. You kind of let the play develop, work against who you're playing against. Maybe wait for a switch, which I think he was underneath. I was underneath. I had my back to him. He was along the baseline. He did some. It was elder abuse, is what it was. More elder abuse, and those videos tend to get a lot of pictures. So hoping this one will get a lot.
Hey, so. Does Craig have an advantage with the length of his arms?
Yeah, I don't know. If he's close up, I don't think so, because he's definitely the tallest guy. So he's got to really get. But he definitely has a wingspan. There's no question. I don't necessarily know if it gives him an advantage, but I think he's got pretty good sized hands, so he could just do a one-hander pretty quick.
Yeah.
Versus, I probably got to put 2 hands on it to really give it some impetus.
I think all your Megs have gone 2 hands from what I've seen.
I'd say except for the one with trophy face off. That was my backhand to my right. That's my best ever, and probably always will be.
It was amazing. There was a lot going on in that play that we were really proud of.
Going on. When you made the shot, that's even better.
I made the layup, which is not a given.
No, it is not.
For me,
especially because that was kind of early on in the Meg father in the TNN world.
Yeah.
And so it happened so quick, you probably didn't have a chance to start laughing.
No,
which tends to happen now.
Yeah, now it's been like you've had so many people resistant to the Megs, resisting the whole. They weren't embracing it the way I thought maybe they should, and to see those guys come around, the Jims, the Jeremys. It's been just a lot of fun, and I just find it hilarious.
So you would say deniers, but they're skeptics, definitely skeptics.
Yeah,
people didn't believe in the science. The science of the Meg. Oh,
for sure. Those people, they never want to go along with. They want to question everything,
right.
the whole, JFK thing. Like they don't want to just accept the story that's been given to them.
It's a conspiracy. It wasn't a coalition, but it was. It's definitely a conspiracy. Just thinking that it's gonna fade out. I think that's how Craig was.
Right. Yeah. They're looking for the grassy knoll. They're looking for accomplishes like who's in on this. To some degree. Don't you think there was some of them?
There's enough plausible evidence that it may not be the Meg. Is what it.
Yeah. Well, don't you also think that it's possible that some of these guys were just thinking that a couple of us were in on it? Like maybe we're making our legs vulnerable, kind of like pro wrestling. Pro wrestling.
Right.
Yeah. Like
it looks legit, but it's a setup.
Yeah, it's set. Yep. Don't you think there were some of them that kind of thinking like that?
Yeah.
They were talking amongst themselves.
I think it's a good analogy.
And don't you think? Wrestling. Yeah. Don't you think there's a? What do you think the likelihood is that they set a separate?
That there was
a separate group
an underground coalition against
a separate.
And we just didn't know about
a separate group text that we weren't a part of.
Oh, well, that's always possible. Now that really opens up a whole nother thought process.
And now that we have a trophy, a traveling trophy, don't you think there's going to be some extra controversies here?
What's that?
Extra controversies with the trophy?
Yeah, it could be. It could be, especially could be when we get some, tie for the Meg father. Then it comes down to who. Did somebody have a better one? What puts it over the edge? Monday we had the early leave. You both qualified.
Yeah.
I think it was legit. We're not gonna incentivize early leaving.
We can't, but at the same time,
and then he earned it back.
He did. Yeah.
So that's legit.
Hey, speaking of that, do you think Craig stayed a little bit longer today?
I don't know. He wasn't hustling out the door.
I think
he knew he had it.
He's like, I want this.
I think he knew he had it locked up.
Yeah.
And he did seem to give you a little more time here for the video. He was a little quick. Early this morning. Yeah. Maybe he was a little shy. Didn't want the praise.
Do you think How many trophies do you think he's had in his life?
Well, given that his brother was is a retired NFL player,
It's true.
and he has another brother, I think there was a lot of competitiveness at home.
Do you think Craig came out on the losing end
The
on that?
boys were probably pretty good in the mid-Wisconsin area.
But
so.
do you think Craig came out on the losing end on a lot of this?
Well, I mean, maybe he was beating up his brother earlier, and that's what kind of toughened him up. And then he eventually, I mean, like Jordan, he wasn't the oldest, but his older brother used to dominate him. Once he finally beat him, then it kind of took his game to another level.
So
not exactly the same, but here we are back to basketball.
Hey, let's just guess. Trophies that Craig still has in his home.
Oh, you mean has now?
3 or I mean.
I'm guessing his parents have some trophies.
But he didn't keep them. He just gave them away.
Yeah, I don't know if he did. I could see maybe his brother has them. I mean, I don't
His
know.
brother has Craig's trophies.
He's got his own. No, does Craig having his own?
Craig has
to. His
got
kids probably have some, so he's probably they got probably, but that's not his, right?
But Craig doesn't have. You don't think Craig has
I don't
any
know if he has
trophies?
any of his own. I mean, maybe there's just something I'm not aware of, unless there's something really momentous that
What's Craig good? What's Craig really good at? When we think about.
I think they were really good at baseball.
Oh.
And there were some
he's got a
basketball
trophy
players.
now.
Obviously, they're football. I don't know if he played football.
Hey, I'm
but I
going-
think there were some basketball players.
I'm going 3 trophies. Craig has 3 trophies, and I think you said you think he has 0.
I'm going to go 0, but we're going to have to confirm that. Well, not including today. Not including the Mayflower. Because that's a traveling trophy.
All right, so we'll come back and we'll find out how many
We'll
how many
update this.
how many trophies does Craig have?
That would be a great short. You can answer it and said, Craig's trophies at home. 0.